Hey everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Whiskey and Wisecracks, brought to you here by Simu Golf in Pompano. And by Primo's Liquors in Davie, who will be supplying all of the whiskey that we're going to be trying on all of our episodes. With us today, we have Doug and we have Hassan. Yeah, and they're going to be trying some whiskey, and we're just going to be talking about whatever comes up.
Cool.
Okay, let's get with it. So what we're going to be trying today is from Glengoyne. It's not a very well-known brand. I think it's hard to find if you go to like an ABC Liquors or stuff like that. I definitely recommend going to Primo Liquors. Their number one location is in Davie, and they are one of the number one suppliers for Glengoyne. So I'm really happy that they were able to source some of the stuff that I wanted to try today. This bottle here is the Legacy series. So this is chapter 1. This was bottled in 2019. And after aging in the barrel for some time, it was also then put into a cherry cask where it spent some time living there to get the beautiful color we're about to see. The 15-year is something that is one of my personal favorites. I've had this one for a little bit of time. And as you all could see, this one didn't last very long.
Well, can they see? I mean, what are you holding there?
Oh, I'm holding an empty bottle.
Empty bottle. Oh, okay.
That's how it became empty, because it's one of my favorites. So this one I don't think they make anymore. It's discontinued. If you do happen to find a bottle of it, I would say grab it immediately. And then we also are going to be trying today the 10-year. I think we're going to start with this one before we move on to the cherry cask. So I'm going to let Doug do the honors and crack that one open.
Oh shit! I get to open things up.
Yes, you do.
This is what happens when you turn 40, 41. You got to put things away from your face to open them up because you can't see anything anymore.
Or wear glasses. One of the two.
No, I don't. No, that's crazy. It's crazy. All right. So sample size. What are we doing?
Standard, man. Standard 1 ounce.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Throw some in there for me.
All right. Host goes last, Leo. Host goes last.
Fair enough.
All right,
that's
there we
good.
go.
I'm going to try a little bit neat first before I put some stones in it. If anybody wants stones, I have here. I wanted to say, too, that this little, this flight that I am holding here has the 10-year, the 15-year, and the 18-year. The 15-year, like I mentioned, is discontinued, so it's not easy to get anymore. So for those of you that are actually listening and watching our podcast, I would love to give this out. So if you are watching the podcast, if you are a subscriber and you are the first one to post a comment about our podcast, this will go out to you.
Nice.
Yes, indeed.
I'll make it a flavor.
I like it. Tastes good.
It's nice and smooth.
Yes.
Yeah, the 10-year is a good conversational drinking one.
Definitely.
I think that's a decent one. I'm excited to get through this glass and get to the
cherry cask.
Cherry cask.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Maybe another glass or two of these. Who knows?
Yeah, I could definitely another glass. Do one with the rocks, one without.
Yeah. That's proper sampling. Mm-hmm. You know,
so
and then
I know.
maybe one with a splash of water. I mean, I don't know if I'm going too far.
Water.
Well, I know definitely you're a bourbon guy. So what do you think of this Scotch whiskey?
It's good. I like it. It's smooth. It's not overwhelming. It's good taste, but you know, I haven't met a whiskey or a Scotch or a bourbon that I don't like. So,
agreed. What's your go-to?
My go-to is Jameson. I like Jameson
Really?
Black Label.
You're a Jameson guy?
I'm a Jameson Black Label.
Okay.
I like it heavy, but I like it smooth. So this is right on the money as well.
Yeah, I normally my go-to has always been Glenlivet until I got my hands on this 10-year and or on the 15, and now I just don't know how I'm gonna survive without the 15. I guess I'm gonna have to replace it with this 10-year Glengoyne.
there you go.
What about you? What's your go-to?
I don't have a go-to when it comes to whiskey.
Really?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm always out there. The thing is there's so much to try, so much to sample when it comes to whiskey, bourbon, or scotches, that I hate having one thing that I'm just consistently drinking. I mean, if I'm out, pre-pandemic at a place and I got to pick something from a list, and seeing we live in South Florida, everything is overpriced when you're out and about, and you're paying for one drink at a location what the bottle costs in the liquor store. So if I'm out, I might try to pick something off a list that I know and enjoy. One of my go-tos is actually Whistle Pig.
Yeah. I've had that when I've gone to your house. It's actually pretty good stuff. So how'd you discover Whistle Pig?
I discovered Whistle Pig at actually at a whiskey tasting class. So my wife and I actually, one of our favorite hobbies is doing whiskey beer tastings, and it's probably one of the best ways to get to figure out what you like and what you don't like. I know a lot of different locations do them, and it's a great event. We've done them for father-in-law's birthday, my dad's birthday, her birthday, Valentine's Day. Look, we just do them all the time.
We've done tastings for my birthday too.
We've done tastings for your birthday too. That's right.
Yeah, that's always a good time. There's nothing better than getting to try a bunch of different scotches and whiskeys on somebody else's time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, man? How'd you get Jameson to be like your go-to?
Had a few stories with Jameson, but one was really with my fiance now. One of our first dates. Women don't usually drink bourbon or whiskey, and she wanted to drink the Black Label. So I was like, okay. So she tried it, and obviously got drunk. But it turned into our go-to as being our drink was a Black Label.
Yeah.
I was always a Jameson's regular Jameson guy before, but lately I've been trying Japanese whiskey. That's been my thing. Suntory.
Yep.
I like that one. That's one of my favorites as far as Japanese whiskey. But really, because I love with Jameson, I could go either way, but I prefer Black Label.
Okay.
But that was my gateway into whiskey.
My gateway, like most people when I was younger, was probably just good old Johnny Walker. Nice blend, right? Like they have really good marketing campaigns. They do a lot of tastings in South Florida, a lot of marketing. So you kind of get into those blends, and then as your palate opens up, right, you start going into a lot of the single malts. And then we've done a couple of tours. We did the Bourbon Trail and a couple of things like that. So as you start doing more tastings and start really seeing the different flavor profiles, you kind of start looking at all these different options. But definitely starting off with Johnny Walker, like I have a soft place in my heart for Johnny Walker, because of the fact that that's what really got me into drinking.
Johnny Walker, though, like it, and just like you, but it's also what, I think it's what my dad drank. My dad drank a lot of Johnny Walker, and seeing him drink when I was younger, I'm like, okay, starting to drink, started trying it with my dad. So that's a funny thing, when, I think a lot of young people, when you start drinking, you start seeing, like, if you have the good fortune of drinking with your dad here and there, that you start drinking what they drink, but eventually you got to open up to new things. So Johnny Walker was kind of the gateway.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me from the college days, like it was when you're dead broke, man. You drink a lot of beer, right? So you do a lot of beer stuff, and then you start with the clear liquor, right? A lot of vodka and clear tequila. It takes a while, I guess, before I got to the brown, to the brown stuff, right? But once you get there, for me, like I just found a flavor profile that I really enjoyed, and I'd rather drink a good scotch or a good whiskey or a good bourbon compared to anything else. Like,
yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for sipping. You can mix it with some stuff. I'd rather not mix it with anything. But if you come down to it, like Jim Beam or Jameson, you can mix it, right?
I actually, the one that really impressed me was the Kentucky, the honey bourbon.
Oh, okay.
The Tennessee.
Isn't that the Tennessee.
Yeah,
that's
it's real good.
That's Jim Beam, is it?
No, isn't it?
No.
Oh, that's Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels.
The Tennessee honey.
So I got a similar story to you though. The first date with my wife, we went out for burgers, and then it went well. We're married now. But right after we had the burgers, we shot off and the little bar that's a whiskey bar nearby, and we tried a few different whiskeys at that place, and now her favorite whiskey is actually that one, the honey one, the Jack Daniel's Tennessee honey.
It's good, but suggestion: do not drink the whole bottle in one sitting like I did, because you're gonna have it's all the honey. I had like a headache from drinking it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It's all the sugar, man. It gets into
It's
your
the
system.
sugar, yeah.
It gets right into your system really fast.
Yeah.
What about some of the peaty stuff? Like, how are you guys? Because I know I like peaty scotches, right? But that's I know that it's one of those things that it's either a love it or hate it relationship. Most people either like the smoky flavor or don't.
I love it.
It
like
depends.
peaty
I
stuff?
can't. So
I do.
If I start off with something that's peaty,
Yeah.
it's great, but I can't go from something that's not peaty to peaty.
Okay.
can't switch.
Like if you start off like with something sweeter, like a bourbon, you don't want to go into a dry smoky.
Yeah, like the stuff that's too peaty. I can't go from something like this all of a sudden and start
Into a
drinking.
peat, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like you gotta kind of get your mouth ready for it.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could always do a glass of something.
I could switch, but I
I
understand.
mean,
what he's-
even though
what-
sometimes
what I'm
some of the really strong ones feel like you're just drinking a glass of smoke, but it's pretty cool. The guys over at Primo, when I was talking to them about some of the Highland stuff and some of the peaty stuff, he had mentioned he had gone to Scotland with his wife for their honeymoon, and they actually got to shovel the peat right into the furnace. So
Nice.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you did a little tasting with them while you were there, right? Picking
Oh
some of the
yeah.
stuff?
So the good thing about Primo's there is that if you go in and you don't know what you're looking for, they're more than happy to take you into their little back area. They got some stuff that's already open, different flavor profiles, even some of their own special cast.
How are you doing over there with the
Selections.
Glengoyne? Because
It's going,
in my Archer voice, Glengoyne, gone.
gone.
Yeah, I can't. Sadly, I've already said this before, but I can't drink anything that starts with a Glen in it, where I don't hear Archer in my head saying something about it. It's just stuck in my head.
Archer is always in my head. That's who gives me all of my life advice.
Yep, pretty much.
Who's Archer?
Who's Archer?
I'm joking.
We're taking you off the show.
I'm joking.
You go.
I'm joking.
Put that on.
Thank you, sir.
Before we never get to the next one.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Actually, let me try Whiskey Stones now.
You want to try some whiskey stones? You're
Please,
good,
sir.
brother.
All right, the peer pressure.
Thank you.
The peer pressure. I'll take one.
You don't want to miss out?
No.
You're missing out?
Yeah, why not? No. Since I always drink mine's neat and never put anything in it,
Yeah.
maybe like a splash of water here and there just to change the flavor up.
So
This
there's
is actually the
different-
first time I drink it with whiskey stones.
Well, it does the same thing as keeping it cool without the water down. So it kind of depends for me what brand I'm drinking, right? Or also how long it's been in the barrel, right? So there's some stuff that I like completely neat. I don't want anything in it. I like it room temperature. There's some stuff that I like it with a little bit of water. Some brands I like it with the rock because the rock keeps it cold, but also adds that little bit of water to it as it starts to melt away. And then there's other stuff like this. Like with this particular one, I like it a little chilled, but I don't want the added water. Right? It doesn't really have a lot of the vanilla undertones that need to come out with the water. So I like it exactly how it is.
Why water? Why would you
So-
add water to the bourbon?
So, well, you could do this with whiskey too.
Whiskey.
And we're not talking about like water. You're adding like
Just a couple
we're talking about
drops.
a drop or two of water.
2-3 drops.
Will actually, depending on the whiskey or bourbon, it'll open up the alcohol a little bit, where you get a little bit more of the smell, more of the flavor. So it actually changes a little bit of the flavor profile, which is kind of nice. It's almost like you're trying two different liquors.
Okay.
You know, you can start with one neat and tiny little couple of drops of water, 1-2 drops of water, and all of a sudden, just shake it around, smell it. It'll
we got
smell
a water
a little
bottle
bit
somewhere
different.
around here, dude. We'll put
Yeah,
some water in
it's-
there for you.
I'll try it.
Yeah, I mean, it's why you have the big ice cubes, because they kind of melt away at a
Much slower rate.
much slower rate.
Okay.
It's such a solid block, right? So
Yeah.
where versus using
Makes sense
smaller
now.
ice that melts very quickly.
But no judgment here. I mean, end of the day, I recommend everybody drink their alcohol how they prefer it. If you want to put something else in it, that's your preference. I mean, as long as you're enjoying it, because that's the important thing.
Exactly.
When you go to like the brand tastings at some of the liquor stores or at some of the distilleries, they're gonna make you try it in different ways, right? So they'll give you that same 1 ounce. You're gonna try it neat first, then they'll do that same 1 ounce, and then you're gonna try it with a little bit of water, and then after that they're gonna put some ice in it, right? So you get an opportunity to try it.
That's more than enough. And I would say this is probably one that the water
I don't think it's
isn't
gonna
going to
open up
too much.
Yeah. If it has,
let me let you do it.
depending on the fruitier flavor ones, the ones that take a lot more sugar out of the wood,
Up a little bit.
those open up a lot more with water.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert or anything. I'm just a drinker.
You're right. I see what it tones.
It tastes different, right?
It tones it down. Yeah. Well, it tones it down to me, but I mean, as far it changes the profile, like you.
So
you
the stuff that I used to drink, like when I first started, like Johnny Walker and stuff like that. If you do like the black or the double black and you put water in it, like the vanilla really comes out.
Do you like Blue Label?
I like Blue Label. I do. I'm not a big fan of like red or any of the cinnamon stuff, like Fireball. Mm-hmm. Like it's I've drank it before, but I don't know if it's just coincidence or the black cloud that hangs over me sometimes. But anytime I drink anything with cinnamon in it, something bad really happens.
Leo has several black clouds that hang over him at different times.
Story of my life, man.
Leo can't wear a white polo without food just flying at it.
Yeah. And we've tested this out.
Don't lend him a white polo.
Yeah. So,
noted.
Funny story, right? So, the first time that I borrowed one of Doug's white polos, we ended up going to a steakhouse where a bottle of red wine got spilled all over that shirt. So I felt bad, so I bought him a replacement one.
So he got a Clorox stick, and he started going like this over the entire shirt for an hour, and when he realized nothing was going to happen.
Yeah. So then I ended up buying him a replacement shirt, which I ended up borrowing once again from him, and I ended up getting like fruit punch or marinara sauce from something. It's just a bad experience. So every time that I've stopped buying or wearing white polos.
So I think you should buy him like for his birthday or Christmas a white polo shirt. So I'm
a walking calamity. When it comes to white, it's just gonna end up getting stained. Yeah, it's horrible. Like
not happening.
Yeah, not happening. That's why I stick to black. My wardrobe now is all black all the time.
Makes laundry a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming to the end of this one, I'm looking forward to trying the.
You want to crack open the cherry cask?
Hell yeah!
All right, this time I'm gonna crack this one open. Oh, this has a really nice color to it.
It does.
So just looking at them next to each other, you can see the darkness. It's just a little bit darker, a little bit. This one has more of a honey color. This one's a little bit more like cherry wood color. It's a very, very nice color. You can definitely tell that it's been sitting in a different cask for a little bit of time. And I'm not sure really how long they put it in there. Some people say that it's 6 months. Some people say it's 8 months. I guess it's a range of period, right?
I would probably see what the makers say.
It's just a range of periods, right? So usually what they say is they'll go in and keep flavor testing it every few months until they get the flavor and the color that they want.
I'm looking forward to flavor testing it.
Yeah, me too, man.
It's a bottle in 2019, this particular one.
Yeah, so this is chapter 1 of their series. They're going to be doing a bunch of different casks, different types of barrels, different types. Like I think one's going to be in a cognac cask. This one obviously in the cherry cask. They're going to do one in a red wine cask, right? So all of these different ones, these different chapters as they're calling it, right? Because I really like this chapter 1. So we're starting off at the very beginning. So as they continue to come out, you'll probably see these again with us in the future. Can't open that.
Really?
Dude, I don't have nails for that.
Dude, nails. It's just a little thing right here, man. Come on.
You just have to find it.
Yeah, the second I find it, it's open. There we go.
It's a good thing I haven't had breakfast today.
I haven't either.
Here, I'll let you take the top off of it.
You're the man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I thought you were about to drink it.
I thought so too.
All right. So I'm pouring.
Better than Listerine. Well, smell it
I wanna
first,
smell
man.
it
I think it
first.
smells really good.
Smell it in my cup.
That's true. I like the way you think.
It's a good thing we didn't call this podcast 3 Guys 1 Cup.
All right.
If you don't mind, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm not ready just yet, man.
All right. Well, I'll hand it over to you. You can hold it there. So you're ready.
I like the smell.
Definitely different than the 10-year.
Yeah, yeah.
So one thing I've noticed too on some of the stuff that I have at the house is that the pace at which you drink it makes a big difference, right?
yeah.
Because
Yeah,
stuff
definitely.
that I've had, you know, where it takes me a month or two to go through a bottle. You know, I kind of rotate some of the stuff that I drink. So when I go back to it, you know, let's say, you know, it gets to around about right here. For me, this half of the bottle tastes much different than this half of the bottle. And I think it's just the amount of time that it spends open, right? For the peaty stuff, like I was telling you, because I really like some of the peaty stuff, it tends to get less peaty over time. I don't know how, you know, you have a lot of bourbons at your house, more than, you know, to the level that I have scotches. So, like, how do you sense that as well with the bourbons, like after you've had them open for a while, or do you just go through those bottles fast enough?
No. You know, I enjoy having a good drink, 1 or 2 good drinks on the weekend, Friday, after work. But I take a while drinking, going through my bottles. And I rotate them quite a bit, right?
Do you notice? You don't notice a difference as they get older, as they've been open for a while, right? Because once they get a little bit, of hair,
I don't notice a difference. I'm really just enjoying my drink, and I know what I like, and normally it tastes good. But to notice from 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, whether something tasted different, I'm not that guy. I'm probably like an ideal candidate for a lot of makers, because if I try your stuff and I like it, I'm good to go. I'm not the guy who needs to have that perfect glass that's never ever been washed without anything except for water. Yeah. If the glass gets washed with soap, I'm kind of okay with it. I'm still gonna drink the whiskey that's in it.
Yeah, there's a few elitists that would cry if they saw me washing my tumblers with soap.
Well, I mean, I don't do it, but I'm not going to be judgmental about it. I'm still going to enjoy what's in it. By the way,
my tumblers get hand washed with soap. I know
this is really nice.
This is real, yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely different than the 10-year. You can definitely taste the fact that it was aged in a sherry cask. Mm-hmm. Real nice. Again, one thing about this, and this is, I think, maybe the second time that I drink Glengoyne. Really smooth.
Was the first one this 15-year that you had with me?
Yeah, that's why I said this is the second time that I'm drinking Glengoyne, because I thought we weren't supposed to be banging on the table so much, Leo.
Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah.
You're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Our good friend over here's ears are freaking exploding.
Yeah, our sound engineer is winching every time I put a glass down on the table.
Yes, he is.
Sorry, I had to say it because you've made more noise, and we were made aware of it earlier. So it's like every single time you bang the table, I'm thinking about it, and I feel bad.
Yeah, and I just looked over the last time that I banged the table, and he was almost crying. So
I see blood coming out of his
I need
ears.
to stop doing that.
Poor guy. I mean, what kind of health insurance do you have set up for people that are on the podcast to help out with these work-related injuries?
Not enough to cover his blown out eardrums from me putting the glass on the table.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Salud.
This is really good.
I like it. And I'm going to make a little newbie. I never had this before. It's my first time. So,
well, I mean, one of the reasons why I wanted to use this for our first episode is because a lot of people haven't heard about it.
I haven't.
You know, and it's actually really quality scotch that most people have yet to try. I think it's on par with a lot of the other stuff in that same price bracket.
So what's the price bracket on these?
It depends on what you're getting.
I know the 15-year
Yeah.
You can't find it anymore. So you mentioned
It's around
that's gone up.
Yeah. So the 15-year, unfortunately, they don't make this anymore. That was a special run. So this stuff, if you do find it anywhere, you're probably going to pay upwards of 120, 130 for that. Then the 10-year sits in the regular, Glenlivet range, right? So you're looking at like Glenfiddich, Glenlivet. It sits somewhere between the $40 to $55 range, depending on where you buy it. The Legacy, I am not certain what the going price is for that. So anybody listening, if you want to put it down in the comments, let us know what you can find it for. But I really don't know what that one's going for. But I do know that it is a limited run as well. So it may end up somewhere in the $75 to $100 range, depending on how many bottles are actually available. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't even know what the run is actually. How many were bottled and how many barrels they actually used. But it's pretty good stuff. I actually like this stuff, man.
Yeah, it's real good.
I'm kind of weary about some of the stuff that they do. I have a bottle at home that was also put into a red wine cask, and it doesn't really have the flavor profile I like. So I was kind of weary about it, but now after trying it, this is completely different than what I was expecting.
Yeah. That's again probably one of the good and the bad thing about trying new stuff out. Sometimes it's great and something you're gonna want to have again several times over.
Yeah,
and sometimes you're not. But definitely winners. I mean,
no, this is I can see myself having this like with dinner.
Yeah.
Right?
So one of the big things for me is whether or not I can share it with others. Like most whiskey, bourbon, scotch drinkers, or people who fancy themselves, aficionados or whatever. I have my private stash, which is what I keep for myself that I don't really share with my guests.
Yeah,
that tends to be what's a little bit more expensive and what I'll share with you or people that I know can really appreciate it.
I mean, by no means am I an aficionado or an expert.
Share with me too.
I'd share with you too. Okay. I'd share with you too. But there's also the stuff that you keep. Well, you haven't come over to the house yet, so that's still pending, right?
Yes, you're right.
So post COVID, you're gonna come over.
Post-COVID,
we're gonna crack some stuff over.
Yeah, I'll share. But the thing is I don't have it in the trunk of the car, so you have to kind of visit me and we'll hang out and definitely I'll open up everything there because everything is already open. But there's always a bottle you keep for guests, right? People that come over, and I always think to myself, and that's definitely not going to be something that's too expensive. That's something that you enjoy drinking, because you're gonna have it with them, and but it's something that has to be easy for people who've never had whiskey or bourbon to drink. So something that's right there where it's not gonna turn them off.
I'm telling you,
the 10 is definitely there.
This 15-year, man.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna see if I could get that last little.
But that 15
little bit in there for you.
But that 15-year at that price range, I'm not buying that to share it with my guests.
It was just so good.
Listen, you're a generous host because, whatever's in my house is what's going to be available. I'm not going to have separate stashes.
No, I do got separate stashes too, man. Well, I know. There's stuff that I drink with close friends, and there's stuff that I drink with just regular people.
You like it, you take it or leave it. That's how I go. That's how it is.
Well, I mean, it's just you pick up a bottle that's not going to be too expensive.
So I'll be the first one to admit, for those of you that have drank out of my decanter, I apologize that you're hearing this for the first time. But what I keep in my decanter is just Johnny Walker, right? So it looks fancy when I pour it for you and I give it to you because I'm keeping my private stash for those that really enjoy. Like I said, I'm not an expert in any means in this field. But at the same time, I'm not a connoisseur, but I do enjoy what I consider to be really good scotch and really good whiskey.
This kind of reminds me of my 30th birthday, when prior to my birthday, a few of the people were being very picky about the vodka that was going to be served at my birthday. So me and my roommate at the time, we started collecting
whiskey stones and drinking straight up.
Empty bottles of good vodka and filling them with some of the cheapest stuff we could find. And nobody could tell the difference because everybody was mixing. that vodka?
I don't touch vodka at all.
I used to touch it a lot.
At this, I used to also. That's why I don't touch it anymore. My go-to drink was Red Bull and
I mean, I had a phase of my life where I could have been Max Verstappen. I could have been sponsored by Red Bull. All the amount of Red Bull and vodka I drank.
Wow, you're getting that last sip out of that bottle.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Look, man, this is a primo bottle of scotch.
It's going to me, the one that have been tried.
Go for it. Have a little water in between.
You're gonna
just to
wait
clear
till you
your
see
palate
how
a
good
little
that
bit.
is.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
That is really good, really smooth.
Yeah, it is smooth.
That's good, right?
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to
see-
find a bottle of this somewhere.
I see why
Even if
you
I
like
have to
that.
pay the $140 for it.
Yeah, I will make that my go-to.
Did it
drink
just
as
go
well.
up $10?
Well,
I thought it was 130 a
I
second
don't
ago.
know. It's somewhere in that range. Somewhere in that range, man.
Leo's trying to help drive the price of that bottle up.
I hope not, because I actually want to get a bottle. So it's actually worth only $100.
So
I said $50.
the question is,
Let's bring the price down.
Nah,
we have the internet now. You may be able to find it online for a little bit cheaper.
love that.
Now that you mentioned the prices.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to find. I mean, I know that Primo, who gives us all of our stuff that we're gonna try on here, they are a Glengoyne distributor, and they didn't have the 15-year. They basically told me, like, I came in asking for the 15-year, and the guy laughed for like 10 minutes, and then afterwards he was like, "No, seriously, what do you want?" And I was like, "I want another bottle of 15-year." He laughed for another 10 minutes, and he was like, "Okay, well, let me show you something else." So that's where but as you can see, there's a reason why I like it so much. It's really, really good, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna go online when I get home. After you finish this podcast, and look for a bottle myself to keep at home as my private stash.
Yeah, there you go. Now you learned about the private stash.
Yeah.
You don't give that to guests.
No, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you have guests come over, they don't really drink, and it's hard to kind of pour them a glass of some stuff that you've been saving for yourself. So you pick up something that's a little bit less expensive, maybe
Makes
something
sense.
in the $30 range. That's nice. It's a nice something for them to drink.
You could do a Glenlivet, right? A Glenlivet lasts
$20 range.
That's $20, $30 range,
range.
depending on where you get it, and that's good for everybody.
And there's a lot of good whiskeys and bourbons out there in that range.
Even some of the boutique brands, some of the more obscure stuff in that price range is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'd say, I mean, going back to the Archer reference, like,
Who is Archer?
Get off the show. We had a lot of Archer and whiskey nights where we literally just drink whiskey and watch Archer. And besides all the life advice I got from the show, I got to try a lot of good different whiskeys. And I save some of the good bottles for events like that, right? Like, not just regular people coming over for barbecue. I mean, that's a beer event. So
regular people, the rest of them, I'm assuming, are superhumans or some sort of superheroes.
Non-VIP people, is what he's saying.
Only the crew from the boys gets to drink.
Okay.
My good stuff.
Just checking.
You got to have some of that special juice in you. But but seriously, when I say regular people, I mean, people who can drink anything and don't really care what they're drinking, right? Like they drink the house stuff when they go anywhere. Versus naming something by brand, right? And I'm not like a brand snob, but if I'm gonna go somewhere and pay premium price, especially down here in South Florida, where you can go to any restaurant and what they're serving you, what they're charging you for the glass is the same thing you can almost buy a bottle with. I'd rather drink something that I really enjoy.
I also try to pick up something that is gonna help introduce them to either whiskeys or bourbons, right? Something that's going to be nice to drink, that's at a reasonable price, and is going to make them more curious about what's out there. Again, the 10-year, I think, is ideal. I think my mother-in-law would totally drink that and would want to have a little bit more.
I mean, this is in the $50 price range, so it's a little on the higher side of the scale for entry-level stuff. But I'm not opposed to spending $50 and
on
giving that
people?
one out on regular people.
Okay,
right?
I want this.
Yeah, don't we?
I
all?
taste the oak, the spicy oak.
It's really good, right?
Yes.
No, I really enjoy that. I mean, there's I can't express enough how after trying that for the first time, it really became one of my favorite things. Ooh, we found it for $89 online.
The power of the internet, as I mentioned.
The power of the internet.
Technology.
Limited quantity. Oh, you got to go all the way to Orlando to get it?
Oh, but I have.
All right, so for those of you,
wait a second.
I have a family.
I know we're gonna be
for you
Orlando.
South Florida listeners, by the time that you see this podcast, that may be over. But if you want to drive all the way to Orlando, you
somewhere in Orlando, you can pick it up for
You can pick it up for
$89.99.
I know
$89.
exactly where it is. I'm gonna actually make a phone call afterwards. Family members up there in that area, literally.
So that goes to show how hard it is to find that even here in South Florida, like we got to make a 3-hour trek just to get a bottle of this. If you do go up there and you do pick it up for $89, pick up 2.
I'm gonna text.
Okay.
As soon as we finish this.
Yeah, because that's definitely one of my favorite bottles. Outside of that, though, I really do enjoy this legacy, and I'm looking forward to some of the stuff that we're going to be trying over this next season. Our next episode, we may be trying a lot of Japanese stuff. We're thinking about getting into the Japanese whiskeys. It's one of those things, something about the Japanese culture and the way that they take on everything that they do as a challenge, right? And almost become like experts in a field that was not even their expertise.
Perfectionists.
Yeah, right. So you talk about stuff like, scotches and whiskeys, and you get these Japanese whiskeys, and they are literally fighting and beating some of the Scotch stuff, right? And it's unbelievable the quality that's coming out of there when that's not even a whiskey region.
What's amazing because I was telling you earlier, one of the best experiences I've actually had with a Japanese whiskey was actually at a Grand Seiko event where they were serving Satori.
Yep.
And
My favorite.
Came away from it. I was already a fan of Grand Seiko, big fan of Seiko, and came away from it knowing way more about Grand Seiko than I'd cared for, and becoming a giant fan of Satori. And every single time that I have some Satori whiskey, I actually think of that event and the time that I had there. So it's funny how, because Grand Seiko has a similar history, right? Where Seiko, when they wanted to really attack that luxury watch market and really perfect the watch, they put together.
One of my favorite ones is my 50-year GMT Seiko. I know you got a couple really nice Seikos, but I really do like my 50-year GMT, and it is a really good reach into them trying to get into that luxury brand market.
When they wanted to, what they did is they set up 2 different factories. One which was Grand Seiko, and honestly, I forget the name of the other one because it didn't win out. And they let them battle each other.
Not for nothing, I have 2 Seikos I never wear, so this is interesting conversation. Yes.
Really?
Oh, man.
Oh, we can get into the watch conversation. We both have.
Dude, when you look it up, look up what Seiko
what are you wearing
did.
right now?
Well, this isn't a Seiko. I was thinking about I was going to wear my Cocktail Time.
Yeah.
But no, this is actually a Magret Vantage bronze brown face, low.
So I'm gonna have to wear a timepiece next time, but I do have to say that
too,
as like a watch guy, I was afraid of moving to an Apple Watch, right? Because it's one of those things, and my fears came true, right? So I got the Apple Watch and I started wearing it, and it's so utilitarian, right? As far as the information that I'm getting, it was really good for the office. If I'm in meetings, I can still get all my messages.
Exactly, yeah.
And what ended up happening was exactly what I feared was happening. My watches sit in my case,
exactly,
collecting dust because I wear the Apple Watch more often than not.
That's what's happening to me now.
And if I go out and if I get dressed up, unfortunately, in this era of the pandemic, there's not much going out. So my watches are literally collecting dust.
Hassan, would you like a little bit more of the...
Oh, yes.
I definitely
Why
would.
not? I appreciate it.
So we're going to finish this off with this.
We're going to finish the bottle off?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I do have a tag. I know we're talking about Seiko, but I have a tag, Ayrton Senna watch I'm going to wear next time.
Oh, that's what we're talking about. So I'm actually
I can't wait to see that. I know you're a big Senna fan.
Yes. As you can tell,
I think that
you can
helped.
see it. Portrait of a champion.
I think that helped establish a little bit of a friendship here.
Oh, of course.
Prior to this podcast, we only met through text, but I already knew I liked you.
He builds bridges for a reason.
He's a bridge builder.
I try. I mean, I consider myself a jack of all trades, right? So there's a lot of things that I'm passionate about. Cars and racing have been one of my passions for a very long time. Doug and I met through our fitness passion, motorcycle and car passion, right? I have passions about other things in golf. And
Would you say you're a passionate guy?
I'm a passionate guy.
He's passionate.
He's a passionate guy.
Multi
And
things.
so I like the fact that you know, us as a group of friends, as people, I've known you, what, 15 years now? More than that?
Yeah. 20.
Like, I don't make me feel old.
2000.
I've known you
I'll make
25, 30
old.
years almost. I don't know, man.
No, we've known 20 plus years. Let's
20
just leave
plus
it at
years.
20 plus years.
So for people that I've known for over 20 years, the reason that we know each other is because we all got brought together by passions that we enjoy, right? I mean, even the people that are not on camera right now that are helping out with this podcast, our sound engineer is a huge, you know, F1 fan. He's a golf fan. He's, you know, old car guy.
Karting fan too.
Our video guy. I mean, he builds RX-7s like they're going out of style. Some
wait,
of them running, some of them not running.
Do they have rotaries in them though?
They do. He is a rotary guy.
That's how he had the BDO Mazda guy.
Yeah. So definitely, I'd like to thank SimU for giving us the opportunity to have a studio here to be able to do this. Primo for being able to give us some really high quality stuff to bring to you guys. And as I mentioned, we will be giving this away to our subscriber. And then, of course, to the friendships that I've built. Yeah, our first subscriber. And then, of course, to the friendships that I've built over the last 20 years.
How can I subscribe now? What do I do? Wait, have I subscribed already? Can I be the first subscriber?
I think you have subscribed. Go to our SOS Media page where you're watching this. State of Stance has been a big passion of mine for a very long time, and this is what has been able to put this together. So, guys, thank you again for being here. I thank you guys again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one.
Yep,
Cheers.
definitely.